We are learning to write an introduction to an information report. To be successful, I can name different types of animals. I can talk about how they are different. I can say a simple sentence and I can write my sentence. Classification. What type of animal is it? Now, a taniwha is a mythical creature, meaning they're not quite real and they happened a long time ago in stories, and that's how they are kept alive. So a taniwha is a mythical creature, but we could also use another special word to describe it, and they are on the next page. Is your taniwha a fish? Because fish can breathe underwater using gills, not lungs, like we have lungs to breathe. Fish live underwater. They have scales and fins. They are cold-blooded and they lay many eggs. So is your taniwha a fish? Reptiles, my favorite. So reptiles are cold-blooded. They usually lay eggs, but not always. They have scales, not fur. Their skin's usually quite dry. As you can see, a crocodile is a reptile, and reptiles can spend a lot of time in water, but they need air to breathe. They don't have gills. So maybe your taniwha is a reptile. Is your taniwha a bird? Is it warm-blooded? Does it have feathers and wings? Does it have ear holes instead of real ears? Does it have a beak? And does it have 2 legs? So is your taniwha a bird? Is your taniwha a mammal? Does your taniwha have babies that come out straight away and they're not living in eggs first? Does your taniwha have hair or fur? Does the mummy taniwha give the baby milk? And is it warm-blooded? So is your taniwha a mammal? Or is your taniwha an amphibian? Amphibian. It's a tricky word. Does it live on water and on land? Is it cold-blooded? Does it have webbed feet, which means that there's no gap in between, that it's joined together like a frog? Does it lay eggs? So think carefully. What type of animal is your taniwha? An amphibian, reptile, mammal, fish, or bird? Choose one that matches your drawing. So I'm going to model how you can write an introduction to an information report. The first animal I'm going to show you is a dragon. Now, for me, I'm going to say the dragon is a reptile because my dragon has scales and it lays eggs, but it doesn't live under the ocean. My dragon lives on land, so he is a reptile. So here you can see in the 1-star challenge, it says dragons are, and I'm going to write reptiles. So there, that's done. Dragons are reptiles. That's my sentence. Here's another one. Did you know dragons are reptiles? So here, I've challenged myself to start my report with a question. Did you know dragons are reptiles? What an interesting way to start an information report. Here is the 3-star challenge. Have you ever heard of a dragon? Dragons are, what are they? Reptiles. That's it. That's all we need to write. So here are 3 different levels of challenge. The first one is a simple sentence. The second one is trying to use a question in an introduction. Did you know dragons are reptiles? And the third 3-star challenge is a question and a sentence. So, have you ever heard of a dragon? Dragons are reptiles. Let's try another animal, shall we? Here is a unicorn. Oh, look, it's so pretty. So let's have a little think. So unicorns, they don't have gills, so they can't be fish. They're not covered in feathers, so they're not birds. So fish and birds are out. They don't have webbed feet. They don't live under the water. So they're not amphibians. They don't lay eggs either. So they're not reptiles. So the last thing they could be is a mammal. Mammals. So unicorns are mammals. That's the 1-star challenge. I'm going to write that here. Mammals. Mammals. Unicorns are mammals. Okay. The 2-star challenge. Did you know unicorns are mammals? And the 3-star challenge. Have you ever heard of a unicorn? Unicorns are mammals. There we go. That's it. Let's try one more. So here is my Taniwha. So I have decided that my Taniwha is not a fish or an amphibian or a mammal or a bird. So my Taniwha is not any of those things. My Taniwha is a reptile because my Taniwha likes to breathe air, doesn't have gills. He likes to hang around on the rocks, but he also likes to swim. And my Taniwha lays eggs, but he lays the eggs on the land, not under the water. Okay, so that's why he likes to climb out on the rocks, or she. So this type of Taniwha is a reptile. So Taniwhas are reptiles. So I've got to write that here. Reptiles. For the 2-star challenge, did you know Taniwhas are reptiles? And have you ever heard of a Taniwha? Taniwhas are, you guessed it, reptiles. Now you need to think carefully about your Taniwha. Is your Taniwha a bird? No, because most of your Taniwhas don't have feathers. None of them do, as far as I've seen. Is your Taniwha a fish? It might be. Have a little think carefully. Is your Taniwha a mammal? Does it have hair? Does it live on land, or is it covered in scales? Most of our Taniwhas are not mammals. Does your Taniwha have webbed feet? Does it live underwater? Have a little think about your Taniwha. What type of animal is it? And make a choice. Then you need to add your writing onto the next page, and I will add a video on how to do this. So children, here comes the part where you have to do some writing. Now you need to draw a mini picture of your Taniwha, not so detailed. You don't need to draw the Taniwha's home in this box here, in this box where I will draw the star. You just need to draw your Taniwha, a simple picture of your Taniwha, because every time we write, we try to draw a picture of what we're going to write. So here we're going to focus on the writing part. Some of us are going to do more challenging sentences, and some of us are going to choose a simple sentence. It is up to us to choose the level of challenge that is appropriate for us. Before we do any writing, we must say the sentence. I'm going to choose the simple sentence. So, for an introduction, we need to write that is the beginning of the page, telling us what is a taniwha. Why am I reading this writing? What is it going to be about? It is going to be about a taniwha. So what is a taniwha? So my taniwha is a reptile. Let's put that into a sentence. Taniwhas are reptiles. That's 3 words. You need to write those 3 words. The spelling doesn't matter. Remember, you use your phonics. Taniwha. Now, some of you will write the taniwha with using your phonics, the f sound. Let's give it a go. Tan, capital letter because it's the start of a sentence. I, fa. Taniwhas. I'll underline. Taniwhas are reptiles. Reptiles. And at the end of my sentence, I put a full stop. So taniwhas are reptiles. Oh, that looks like an A. Now, I'm going to go and check this now because I'm going to use my sound mat to check the word R. R is written like this. So I'm just going to cross that out in a different color. I'll edit my writing because I know that wasn't quite right. But if you've just written R and you can read it, that's fine. That is brilliant. So taniwhas are reptiles. Have I used a capital letter? Yes. A finger space? 2. A full stop? Yes. And have I read my writing? Yes. Okay, let's try the more challenging sentence. The one where we actually ask a question. Ooh. Did you know taniwhas are reptiles? Let's write this in a different color. Did you know taniwhas are reptiles? 6 words. So I'm going to write that there. Did you know taniwhas are reptiles? Did you know taniwhas are reptiles? Practice, practice, practice. Did you know taniwhas are reptiles? Let's start. Did you use your sound mat? You know. Did you know taniwhas Oh, that should not be a capital, so I'm just going to cross that out and write a T. Taniwhas are reptiles. Can you see I'm leaving a line in between so that I can make corrections in between if I need to? Reptiles. And rather than a full stop, I'm asking a question. So I need to put a question mark. Let's check. Did we use a capital letter? Yes. Did we use finger spaces? Yes. Did we use a full stop? Actually, we used a question mark. Did we read it? Not yet. Let's read our writing. Did you know taniwhas are reptiles? Good. Oh, I've made a mistake. I've missed the "ul" here. Let's add that in. So there we go, children. You only need to choose one type of sentence. Taniwhas are reptiles. Or, did you know taniwhas are You could even add, did you know ocean taniwhas are reptiles? Did you know river taniwhas are reptiles? Did you know sky taniwhas are whichever one you choose? Okay, let's see how you do.